This is the Urban Astronomer Podcast. Hi, welcome to the Urban Astronomer Podcast, but it's a special edition this time. Previous guest on the show, Clem Unger, he's going to be joining me on a regular basis, I think every 3 months on the equinoxes and on the solstices. Hello, Clem.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
Doing great. It's a freezing cold, lovely winter's morning. Well, winter's dying now, but it hasn't warmed up yet, so here we are.
Yeah, here in Melbourne, it's a winter's early afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. It's overcast, and astronomy-wise, a bit ordinary, I have to say. So hopefully, it gets better.
So we had a few things in mind we wanted to talk about. I think let us start. Might as well do the classic traditional What's Up in the Sky guide. We were mentioning just before, looks like in December, we're going to have at Comet 46P. Well, you're German-ish. Yeah, you can probably pronounce this better than I can.
Virtanen,
has it?
46P Virtanen. It sounds very Finnish to me, I have to say. So Virtanen it would be, and it travels from Fornax in November through Cetus and arrives around December 16, very close to the Pleiades. And with a little bit of luck, it will be fourth magnitude, and which means you can see it with the naked eye. And because Taurus is quite easy to navigate, if you look up a map of the comet, you should find it with a pair of binoculars fairly easy. So look for a fuzzy patch.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I love comets, especially the bright ones that you can see through binoculars or even naked eye.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we here in Australia, we are lucky that we have someone like Terry Lovejoy in Queensland, who has the knack of discovering some of them, which is a real gift considering that you have these days the automated sky survey. So it shows how skilled some of the amateurs are who are out there to still be able to find a new comet.
No, let's see, this is supposed to come out 21st September. So I'm looking at my sky guide here, and September has got nothing after the 20th. So anything on your side?
Well, September. I mean, considering that we probably have that show on air late September, I would think. We still have obviously a show of the bright planets in the sky all through the early parts of October, which is certainly something everyone should still take advantage of, because by the end of the year it's all pretty over with the big planets. So get your telescopes out and have a look.
Of course, at the moment they are all visible in the evening sky, aren't they? I believe
that's right. I
mean,
Mercury's
a bit tough, but I think the rest are. Yeah.
Mercury, you have to get up early in the morning, but apart from that, you've got Venus. At the time we're recording, it was really close to Spica, and Jupiter, and overhead you've got Saturn and Mars, nicely still very large in any amateur telescope. So definitely have a look and try to pick up the polar caps and maybe some surface features if you can.
And moving to October, let's see, the first thing on my list, I'm mentioning out of interest, not because I think we have any hope of seeing it, is on the first Comet 26P, Greg Skjellerup, which I'm guessing is another Scandinavian name, is at perihelion. But this one does not appear in any of my lists, so I'm guessing it must be very faint. Have you heard of this one?
I have, but I have never either seen it or taken photos of it. So, weather permitting, we give it a go.
All right. Then let's see. Venus will be stationary on the 5th of October, so I guess that's the point where it will then start to lower itself in the sky. Okay, what else? Let me see. I see on the 10th, Mercury will be very close to the moon. That's usually interesting to see. Always very pretty, photogenic.
Yeah, and for those who have never tried to find Mercury, it's a good opportunity to locate it because it can be a little bit difficult. So if you have the crescent moon there, look for sort of a slightly yellowish star-like object, and that's it. So you found our innermost planet, and a day later you've got the crescent moon next to Venus on the 11th of October, and on the 12th next to Jupiter. So you can see how much the moon moves every day. So it's actually quite a good thing to go out in successive nights and have a look. So it moves quite a bit.
And then on the 15th, Saturn also will be very close to it. And then on the 16th, the lunar X will be visible. At about, well, it says here at about 5 to 8 South African time. So, yeah, 5 to 10 universal time. Lunar X is something I've never seen myself. But, yeah, I'm looking at a picture here, but basically it's a number of craters who are just happen to be shaped in such a way that on these rare occasions, when the sun comes at the right angle, it shows up as an X. And I believe there is a V a little bit further to the, where's it, to the south, I think?
Yeah, and it probably gets all the conspiracy theorists going. And why you've got an X or a V there. Yeah. So, definitely worthwhile trying and also identify some of the craters nearby. That's always good fun.
We do put on the South African Astronomical Society on Twitter, every time this happens, we will post a little photograph of what it looks like and the times to look. It's a binocular object, I understand. Thing.
Yes, I mean, if you've got some reasonably good binoculars, you can identify a lot of very nice details on the moon, and so it's a good way to start. So you don't need always a big, expensive telescope. So it's a good thing to do.
Yeah. What's next on our list? You see, on the 18th, I see Mars is then near the moon.
Yes. And 2 days earlier, on the 16th, you've got Venus and Mercury actually fairly close together as well. So that might be a nice photo opportunity as well.
Notice everything on this list it's mostly naked eye stuff, which was best, looking at the planets as they move through the sky. That I found that very satisfying. I did that for many, many years before I had a telescope. Just track where they are.
Yep, that's right. And if you've got a reasonably good sky, you could try your hands on a meteor shower. You've got on the 22nd of October the maximum of the Orionids. This year a little bit hampered by the moon, but nevertheless you should be able to pick up a few meteors. About 30 per hour is estimated. So, I mean, you never know what it's going to be with things like that, but definitely give it a go. Originating comet is Halley, so good one. And the Orionids are very fast, so it's one of the fastest meteors you can see in the sky. So they really zip really fast across the sky.
If you're a morning person, I think that's the best way to look at them. Get up before the sun comes up rather than just after it's come down, or you won't see much.
Yeah, that's right. So you have to hang in a bit.
Which is why I so seldom see a meteor shower.
That's right.
Okay. I see on the 24th full moon.
Yep.
And then 26th Venus is a conjunction. Okay. Oh, I see on the 31st it is dark matter day. I wonder who...
I missed that one.
I wonder who decided that. Dark matter day. What is strange. All right. Well, then I see on the 2nd of Oh, I've skipped a month. Sorry, I'm looking at December now. Do you have anything else for October that's interesting?
No, I think that rolls it pretty much up. I mean, some things which are always nice are maybe some deep sky objects you can try at that time of the year. And one of my favorites is always 47 Tucanae, the globular cluster.
That's a gem, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, most people, especially when they come from the northern hemisphere, they always try to see Omega Centauri, but I think 47 Tucanae even beats it, and it's lovely in a nice low mag eyepiece, just gorgeous, really nice.
To my mind, I think Omega Cen is its best as a binocular object. You know, it's just not, you just can't see it through a telescope because it's too big. It's usually bigger than your field of view. While 47 Tuc is just, it's a gem. It is so dense and bright. I love that one.
And as you say, gem, the jewel box springs to mind as well in Crux. So that's a nice little open cluster with one red star in the middle and lots of blue ones. So really gorgeous and easy to find as well.
Yes, yeah. Back to 47 Tuc, something interesting is that I'd never noticed before because my skies had never quite been dark enough, is that it is right up against a small Magellanic Cloud. And it doesn't take much of a photograph to bring that out. I captured a nice one a couple of years ago, which... Yeah.
If you have dark skies and a reasonably fast lens on a camera, you easily get that, not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, something else I see. It doesn't show up in any of the daily items, but it's Comet 21P, Giacobini Zinner. Is visible for, I believe, the next few months. It looks like it is approaching its brightest now. In fact, I think when this comes out, it might just have passed its brightest point. If I recall correctly, let me just double check my notes here. Yeah, September 10th. So tomorrow, the day after we record, but it should be quite a good show. If I recall, that is passing Orion at the moment. I'm not entirely clear where it'll be towards the end of the month.
Yeah, you beat me. I haven't got the chart in front of me.
I must have one somewhere in my book here. Well, we'll get to that. You know, we'll put details on the notes because we didn't prepare for this comet very well. Okay. Yep.
Comets can also be a little bit of a surprise because sometimes you get a brightening in them more than expected, and so it's always a good idea to keep an eye on some of the news feeds astronomy-wise if there's something going on. So definitely have a look at that.
Yeah, and of course, usually you can catch them just with binoculars, so it's always worth a shot.
Yeah.
Well, the good ones. All right, so November, what do we have? Okay, another comet here I see. 64P Swift Girls on the 3rd at perihelion. Again, this isn't on any of my normal lists. Do you know about this one?
Nope. Have never seen this one. But there are obviously oodles of periodical comets out there, and some of them they're just a fuzzy little spot in a star field, which take a little bit of star hopping to get there, but it's a reward if you finally find it.
I found it on this list here, that Southern Comets homepage I was talking about earlier, which I'll link to on the show notes. 64P Swift Girls, 13th magnitude at the moment. They're guessing it'll peak at about 11th in November. So, yeah, this is probably not even worth it with binoculars, I would say.
That's a bit of a challenge for a medium-sized telescope too, because depending how it turns out, maybe it's got a tail. So I'm